Hello, political vigilante watchers. All of you political vigilantes, you've watched the show. You are a political vigilante. I am here in a wonderful conference room at the FNX World Headquarters in beautiful San Bernardino, California. I'm going, this is an article submitted, well, it's a topic submitted by Crafty Geek. Thank you so much for supporting the show at the $5 level. You get to submit topics like this. It's several things. There was a in January of this year, 2018, Tesla's massive battery in Australia was paid up to 1,000 megawatts an hour to charge itself. And basically, and the link is in the show notes below, Tesla has built this massive battery in South Australia, and it was paid to absorb excess electricity from the power grid. Which then the owners of the battery were later able to sell. And what Crafty Geek has also brought up here, I posted, I had a problem with my electric car. It wasn't taking a charge. I went to 3 different chargers and it wasn't working. So then Crafty Geek also posted on that thing, I posted that on my Patreon page. Crafty Geek said that these ion batteries, you can extend the life of them if you don't let them get below 10% or charge past 90%. This is really interesting. What Crafty Geek is saying. Some of this stuff I understand, some of it I don't. So this, I'll try to go through this as best I can, and then he also referenced an article, a video I did in June of last year, how California paid Arizona to buy excess solar energy. And I'll put the link, that article from the LA Times of last year in the show notes below, so you can sort of compare all of it. What happened, what California did last year was, part of it is California's, their political structure for how it handles its renewable energy and everything sort of is part of the reason why it's selling excess solar energy. But one of the other things too that Crafty Geek writes, in this economy, taking care of your batteries is a minor revolutionary act. Even unplugging your laptop during peak times, 3 to 7 p.m., check your utilities website for local info on that, shifts the power consumption out of the profit margins of peaker plants. Which is good. Like, this is a standard thing too. If you don't know this, any of your major appliances, dishwasher, washing machine, dryer, always try to run those at night after 7 o'clock. And what Crafty Geek is saying, and I'll go into the details of the Australian Tesla thing, is that's a way to use less energy, which doesn't, which allows the, well, it doesn't allow the utility companies to profit during the peak times. In full disclosure, Crafty Geek, I appreciate this. He or she says they are a Tesla stockholder. All right, full disclosure. They're paying me to talk about this subject, and they own Tesla stock. Just so we're all on board here, I don't want you to think this is some sort of Sean Hannity HUD scam. So I'm going to go into the. This was this battery basically, well, it became famous. Elon Musk did a Twitter bet, and yeah, so starting around 12 p.m. and continuing around 4 p.m., the battery was paid during at least 5 separate windows. And again, if you understand this better than I do, then read the details of this article and you'll get this more. I'll try to get the highlights because I don't want to fumble through this and sound like a jackass. The Tesla battery was built in load charging mode while electricity was negatively priced for at least 194 minutes. During that period, the battery was accepting power at rates between 15 to 26 megawatts for varying time periods. Roughly during the 4-hour period, the battery system absorbed greater than 66 megawatts of energy, which would equal at least 66,000 in Australian dollars in revenue and potentially up to $76,000. Events of this nature occur when there is more electricity being produced than the power grid can absorb. Power plants will sometimes disconnect themselves from the power grid when these things occur. Transformers can blow, etc. This is what is similar to what happened when the Tesla battery raced to action a few weeks back. The power grid managers try their best via predictive tools to manage energy usage with generation, but complexity always creeps in. The power industry has attempted to motivate power products users and now battery owners to manage these overages via market pricing. Someone, somewhere, an algorithm probably, thought that this event was worth tens of thousands of dollars. Again, please give these numbers some leeway, as I don't know the exact timing is what the thing. It's pretty amazing here. And I've talked about this green energy and what Crafty Geek is talking about is this is what Crafty Geek, I firmly believe that battery investment is our main limit to the green energy revolution, as battery tech on a grid scale directly undercuts the business model of a significant lobby of peaker plant corps and so-called utilities. That's a great point, because it's saying that we have what do we do with all this green energy, right? We want to store it. There was a big thing in the state of California. If you bought solar panels and the excess electricity went back to the utility companies, you got this huge rebate. If you bought a standalone system, which means you had solar panels that went to batteries, so you literally could survive if the electricity went out, you got no rebates for that. See, the utility companies are standing in the way, as Crafty Geek is saying, of a green revolution, because it's the batteries, and that's what this goes into. So the battery, instantly knowing the grid was approaching capacity, functioned beautifully by reacting when needed most. And because that function is valuable, it was paid for the work. And the owners took the cash home. Cash drives installations, and since this machine can react in a time period of far less than 1 second and use the electricity smartly later on, running machines for the heck of it doesn't make sense. I wonder how much electricity we will save with a smarter grid just from transactions like this, where we don't waste the juice running machines or warming water a little extra. Great article, great subject, Crafty Geek, and this is something, again, little things we can do. I always say vote with your dollars. You're like, well, Graham, I don't own a home, or I don't have $30,000 to put solar panels on my home. Some states and cities have rebate programs. They also have, there are companies that are doing financing. So the monthly payment is equal to, or in some cases less than, what your utility bill used to be. And since you're not paying for electricity, especially if you live in the Sun Belt and you have hot summers, but also there's little things we can do throughout our day in terms of when we charge stuff, when we use big batteries, and when we use big appliances, to where we're using less. So I really appreciate Crafty Geek. And again, there's links to all these articles below so you can get far more information. And thank you so much for supporting the show and giving us information like this. I didn't know this crazy battery in Australia was doing this, but it's great. And thank you for letting us know.